Victory is ours!
Whoa, Rick Brimstone!
Now, the journey continues with the Super Adventure Box.
Oh, dearie me. Well, it's time for World 2 Tribulation mode. Tribulation is obviously a huge step up from normal. And, well, World 2 was a huge step up from World 1. Much longer levels, much more complicated set pieces, much more challenging encounters. So, if we combine the two, we're in for a hell of a time. I really, really recommend, if you guys are going to be playing World 2 blind, to carve out a lot of hours to do it. And for the love of God, do it co-op, so you can share in the misery with someone else. I mean, doing it co-op will slow you down a lot, because when you do a checkpoint really quickly, your friend will do it slowly, and then when your friend does something really quickly, you'll do it slowly. But still, it's something to be cherished and enjoyed. On these videos, I'm actually going to be not too bad. And the reason for that is I've done it a ton of times. At the end of the last episode, I talked about some rare collections in the game for collecting all of the Tribulation weapons. Well, the World 2 set is actually yellow. It's called the Storm Wizard, the collection to get all 16 of them. And I have, over this year's festival, been doing it over and over and over again. That's right, I have beaten Tribulation mode World 2 probably 13 or 14 times this year. I've done it a lot. For that reason, I know the routes very well, and for that reason, even though this is going to be much bigger levels and super crazy, hopefully it won't be absolutely insane. The devs start doing really fun things in World 2 also. In the World 1, we saw a few changes in terms of access to a new furniture shop and obviously spikes and things being added around. In World 2, one of the zones will actually change the way it looks altogether in terms of the lighting, and we'll see that when we get there. So, if you want the ultimate challenge and enjoy a painful frustration, we can play the Super Adventure Box in Tribulation mode. Is that our sort of thing? Yeah, I'm really into it. Don't judge me. So, Zone 1, this is going to be the wooden potatoes run through, and you guys are welcome to copy some of the methods I use. I'll give you a mix, as always, of what the devs wanted you to do and what you can actually do, which is really important to know for these last 3 levels. My God. We're back to Rapids, my favorite of the zones. So, look at this, but it's been destroyed. All these abominable spikes everywhere. Whatever shall we do? Well, this is just like how World 1 Zone 1 started. Remember, they put us in a box? Feels like we're kind of a reset point. That's pretty nice. Well, before, we could try to jump over the spikes, but then there were clouds. So, it's spikes this time. They're more punishing. They don't like the idea of the clouds whatsoever. And you'll notice that the spikes even come on top of this rock. This is an example where the new telegraphing is actually kind of ruining it a little bit, because I remember the first time I ever played this, I tried to jump onto that rock and the spikes still hit me, and now it's blatantly obvious the spikes will still hit me. So where do we go? Well, we can't go out that way. We can come out this way, but then that's just a rushing river. Can we jump across the river? I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, I've never actually tried this. Are there any spikes here? Did this work? I don't even know. Can we jump over here now? Oh my God, the skips. Oh, it works! What? Oh my God, I've never done this. Okay, that is definitely the best way to do this. What on earth is that? That is amazing. I guess it's because they changed the mechanics of the waters recently. This used to do damage to you and stuff. It doesn't anymore. So you could just kind of come along. All right, so that's a new thing. I mean, that's the joy of Super Adventure Box Tribulation mode, I guess. I'll show you the way that I've always understood you had to do it. For some reason, I swear when Trib came out, that was not possible, what I just did there, because of the way the water worked. Now it's like a sliding mechanic. Anyway, you're supposed to come here. There's spikes here, okay? We'll trigger them so you can see. And also, look, let's fill it in. It's like we're painting, right? Look at that. Beautiful. Spikes all around, but keen-eyed people will notice. And I mean, we just had to get a feel for this before. All of this stuff around here is actually safe. So you can come here, and then you can come, like, over here, even if you fall down. And I was trying to sort of fall down there a bit. I thought this was an angry rock. It's actually not. You'll be fine, right? And so now all of this is actually... Okay. I shouldn't try and play with the formula too much. I am actually very good at this world. I seriously, I am very good at this world. But only with very specific movement. The second I start walking away, I don't actually remember the exact, like... I thought this was all safe, for example. I'm surprised that they put spikes here because there's nothing to be gained from going over there. Maybe you can jump on those, actually. Anyway, this is an angry rock. You kind of want to give him a wide berth. And then, okay, all right, buddy. All right, thank you. And then you can jump on these little things here, right? So what are we on, you might wonder? These are actually the little pedestals the shopkeeper would sell you items from. And you kind of need to use them now to keep away from these spikes. That flower explodes and kills you, so you can't jump straight there. You have to go all the way over on the left, and yeah, it's janky. And now you're here, right? So, wow, you could just go that way. Totally a much better option. Here, we can climb up around here, and this is all safe for us, remember? Wait, was there a secret room there in normal mode? Don't fully recall. We can come on through. And so now your temptation is going to be to hit this turtle, climb up here, and you're off, right? That's the checkpoint. Now, remember when we came here in normal mode, I pointed out very clearly that this guy's here, allowing you to skip a massive chunk of the level. But we went and did it because of all the shops and stuff there. Well, Tribulation is going to try and force you to go that way as well, all the way over here, and I'll show you how. But first of all, it's because there's spikes here. You shouldn't really be able to get up that. So instead, we're going to come onto this rock. Now, this bit's really hard, and I actually don't know how to do this without dying, seriously. When we jump onto this post and this bridge, it's going to fall away under our feet, and we'll fall into the water. Now, that's bad, I guess. But what's worse is you see that unhappy finger? That's going to try and kill us the second we get on the bridge. You might think that there's spikes in the middle of the bridge. There's actually not. It just falls away. So what I usually try and do is, like, jump on this post and then, like, jump dodge like an epic guy across the bridge, and in the middle the hand comes and then I evade it. But I've never actually made it, ever. Never. So I don't know what the best way to do it is. Maybe getting onto these other wooden posts is the answer. Like this. Oh my god, it is the answer. Oh, that's hype. Okay, cool. So there you go. That's how you do that. And then, oh, that was a little bit clunky there. But then you come along here. Nice. So we want to move up. Now, these spikes are dangerous. This guy's an angry rock, okay? This guy, exactly this guy. I know them all, all right? So the way I like to do this is hide here and dodge down here. Then come up and we're safe. And then what we're going to do is, like, dodge furiously over there. Like this, okay? And now, this guy's also an angry rock. He didn't do anything. And this guy's an angry rock. So what we're going to do instead is come onto this, okay? Just out of range of this dude who is an angry rock. And we're going to jump off the angry rock and over there. He doesn't trigger if you do that fast enough. Seriously. You got the secret room back there. I honestly have no idea if there's spikes blocking it off in Tribulation mode. And I'm not interested in trying. You come all the way over here. All the way over here. There might be spikes down below. I really don't know. And then we're going to cross this waterfall. Now, this guy's an angry rock. So we're going to jump and immediately dodge. Now, you do that one, and then we're going to run away from him. Because if he knocks you, you land in the water, you fall down, and look, we're all the way back at the bridge, and it's a pain in the ass. So we all know right now that the main exit is over here. But the huge extra stuff is all the way over here. So, let's just try and go to the main exit, shall we? We'll walk along here. And, well, there's the bridge, right? So, we could jump onto the bridge. And there's spikes. Now, those spikes and the falling platforms... And, yes, we're back at the starting checkpoint here. It's pretty grueling at the very start of this level. Those falling platforms... Oh, God, I'm out. Oh, okay, no, we didn't die. I'm good, guys. I promise. I know this load. Are designed that it's I think it's supposed to be impossible to get past that, okay? The devs really don't want you going that way. They want to force you to do the long route, which I'm now going to show you. However, there is an amazing skip here. An amazing skip that if you two, like me, are going for the collection... Come on. No, he did it way too early. That's fine. It just means that we did both dodges, so now we have to wait. The problem is, if I try and go too early, he'll knock me to the side. If you, like me, are going to go for all 16 weapons... Like that, for example. We wanted that endurance to do that. You really should utilize the skip I'm going to show you in a second, all right? So, anyway, we'll do the Tribulation approved way, or at least we'll show the route off a little bit. So, we'll come up here. We got our endurance back. So, jump, dodge. Sometimes you have to do it really quickly, like you saw there. Okay, so the Tribulation approved way is up here, where we have to continue. Now, this arrow is telling you to go there. Don't go there. There's spikes. The arrow doesn't try and kill you, but it does. If it's not deceiving you, it's trying to kill you. Let's put it that way, all right? Instead, you're going to come here and climb up like so. And then you're going to come all the way along. And I'm out of my depth a little bit here because I usually use the skip. So let's see. We're just going to go like in a janky route. Anywhere that there's a more complicated method, we're going to do the more complicated method. What's the most complicated method here? Probably to jump like this. Then like this. I'm so scared. I don't know where any of the spikes are here. Okay, and we get the checkpoint. Then we have this whole rigmarole here, right? So we're going to get our slingshot out because this guy's better. We're going to go along here. And it's... Okay, so this is the main hazard up in this area. I forgot all about this. They're basically angry rocks everywhere. So if you can skip going on a rock... Rocks are not your friend. Dodge after this one, maybe? No? Okay, we're fine. Dodge. I said it, but I didn't do it. If you can avoid being near a rock or going on a rock, do it. So, like here, I'm just going to jump dodge over that guy straight along. I thought that bauble was going to bait me into some spikes here. I think this guy's too big to be an angry rock. Yeah. But that guy might be one, so we want to be careful of him. That guy could be one. And we got the keg there. Can you really not break kegs with slingshots? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump dodge over here, and then I'm going to auto attack to break that. Oh, God. And now... Oh, dear, I'm out of my depth. Look, you're getting a bit of a blind playthrough here. There's definitely spikes as you cross this. So don't go into the middle, basically. Don't ever go into the middle. And then finally, you'll see there's the spikes below us that we were worrying about before. Go along this, and you hit the checkpoint. All right? Finally, there's your checkpoint. If we died, we're back. All right? So it's a massive arena of content here at the start. It's just enormous. There's so much to do at the start of this level, and it really punches you in the face and says, look, this isn't about Twitch movement and like really precise controls, but this is going to be a slog. And this basically encapsulates the entire idea of World 2. So that's the full Tribulation route, but now I'll show you the most amazing skip. It blew my mind when I first saw it, okay? You're going to come through here, remember to dodge the boulder. I did that too early, or he did it too late. I don't know. I'm going to blame him. It's never my fault. Never. All right, I'm a PvPer, okay? I'm very good at deflecting the blame. Okay, so we'll move over, jump onto this rock, getting hit by these guys. Look, you guys get a bit of a sense of how hazardous this all is, really. And each of these little things, I've got to say something as well. Every time you see I'm getting, like, knocked, like, I got knocked, like, 3 times there, and, like, nothing really of any ill consequence truly came of it. However, when you're first learning these, you really struggle, and, like, all the little things that just knock you around like this, you do the checkpoints so many times and fail in so many different areas. Eventually, these random little stray knocks will cause you to die somehow. You would never imagine that it could be a fatal thing, but somehow it will manifest to actually be a fatal thing. Like, we'll fall in that water and then we'll be done for. Or, like, this first guy will knock us into these spikes even though he hadn't done it for the several hours we've been trying before. And it's funny how all the little things can just slowly build up. And, yeah, that frustration... Get used to it. All right, so we're back here, right? That's all pretty simple. It's just a couple of rocks, right? And you climb. Instead of going up here and going to that checkpoint and doing all of that stuff, we have these spikes. And it is so tempting, isn't it? It's so tempting to land on that and go, well, here, did you ever consider coming around the back? Look at that. So easy. Did the devs know about that? I can only assume that they did. And you can hit this checkpoint so fast. Oh my god. Game changer for me. Absolute game changer. It means you get into this level so quickly. You can also skip a lot of these crocodiles and things, by the way, by going on the inside there instead of the outside. Something a lot of people I know don't do and could be. So, yeah. And then this whole sequence here, it hardly even feels like Tribulation mode, honestly. I pointed this out in normal mode. You can make this jump right here. Or you can go a little bit slower. And honestly, doing it 15 times in a row or 16 times in a row, I've ended up going for this other route instead. Just because I sometimes miss this and it's really annoying to land in the water and then you're getting chained down by all the crocodiles and things. You notice we haven't had a spike track for ages. The game is super trolly by putting one right at the top here. It's just enough time for you to forget and then it slams you with that. Ultra frustrating. World 2 does that a lot. I do believe, by the way, that the extra chest with all the baubles is totally safe to go for here in Trib. Where is it? Was it down here? Yeah, 50 baubles, really easy to get. Quite often, people running Trib, such as myself, do care about baubles. I want lots of bauble bubbles to get. So if we have a look at the new novelties, I guess I'll throw this in here. In the musical instruments section, there are Super Adventure Box boom boxes that let you play Super Adventure Box music all year round. And there's one for each world, and then there's one for the metal tracks that play near the Tribulation clouds in each world. I guess that's something I haven't shown off too well in this series, since some of the Tribulation clouds we've not been very near. But yeah, I want these, and so I want Bauble Bubbles, and so it's always worth getting those 50. It's not too tricky to get back up here. So we get the Long Bridge. This one I was always really interested and excited in visiting for Tribulation mode to see how the devs might have changed it, and sadly, they don't really. You might think, well, WP, what can they do here? Just put a ton of trolley spikes that you have to go left, right, left, right, left, right? Maybe they could have. But this is a bit of a breath of fresh air, I guess, for people. Sometimes they definitely do add a bit that can increase the pace for you. You might think that the spikes are all they can do, but there's actually something even more amazing they can do. And you'll find by the time we get to the third zone in this world, they actually do go for. And it's kind of incredible. But yeah, the depth blur back there, beautiful stuff. And we get the raft sequence. So this year, they added the upgrade for the boomerang. If you've been watching this playlist in sequence, which is what I seriously recommend people do, you will have seen me play through normal mode, then get the boomerang and the bomb, and now we're starting Trib. So I now have the boomerang, which I described as OP in that other episode. You know, we were utilizing it constantly and double stunning, and it was AoE and stuff. However, I actually think if you're going to run a lot of Tribulation mode, it's probably better to stay with the whip. Because this sequence, as amazing as it is, this is literally one of my all-time highlights of all of Guild Wars. I love this little moment here. If you're going to use the boomerang, you can't do the whip technique I talked about in normal mode, which is you can just spam the whip on someone. You can just whip and whip and whip and keep the one guy stunned forever. And as long as you just keep pressing that whip button, you can sort of bypass the whole sequence because nothing else will ever spawn. That's really good, honestly. And especially when you're starting to lose hearts because of the other stuff as the fight's gone along. But the boomerang, you can't really do it. There's too much movement. It's too slow coming back. Remember, technically, we're not actually moving. It's just the rest of the world that's moving around us. So the boomerang physics don't get affected here. But it's just a bit too slow, really. So yeah, I kind of do want to go back to the whip. Funnily enough, it's in this world you get the boomerang too. And that's the only place I'd ever really consider it. So, the next half of the level. Pretty nice. Or, I don't know, I like to break this level into the thirds. The third we just did, then the raft, and this third, and then there's the final big open bit. You'll see things have changed a little bit. You got the spikes, I suppose. I wonder now. I really wonder. Hold on, let's try this. Okay, this one is not a good idea. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, we're not actually dying by being near these. That's interesting. Can we just... Oh, look, we can... That kind of works. Okay, look, I'm going to show you the actual way to do this, all right? Here, I'll show you this. First of all, you can make that jump. I just missed that jump. You can make that jump, all right? Now, here's something really fun and weird the devs do in the engine. First of all, there's spikes here, so you need to move around them, as you can see. I usually give them a really wide berth, and I'm now realizing probably a bit of a wider berth than I needed to. And there's spikes there as well. So, there's spikes stopping you getting to the flower, right? Oh, we got game over. Do you know what that means, guys? That means Bract has experienced 100 deaths, or more than that, actually, a couple more than that, since we started playing Tribulation mode. His poor death counter is going to be so high now. It was already like 68 just from being normal mode. But we've done 100 times already, and I know what I'm doing here. But so here, this flower in normal mode actually took you to the other bank, right? So here's what's amazing. We anticipate that it will take you to the bank into the spikes and you're dead. So instead, you like try and wade through the water and you don't know what you're doing and it's really scary. Here's a strange thing. It is rerouted in Tribulation mode. This is the only example I think of this actually happening. It doesn't take you to the other bank. It instead takes you to the crocodile. Now, if we let it do that, the crocodile will bite us and we'll die. But if we go early and shoot it, you can just basically do the normal mode thing. And it's even quicker than normal mode here. Look at that. I love that little sequence. Then we have this whole bit. And you might think, well, the caves underneath is obviously where you need to go. Not this time. Not this time. Instead, you can just stay up high, move around these spikes. You'd expect spikes on the floor. There are none. It's all very clear. It's very above board. We get the bear to kill. We can boomerang and just stay outside of his Molotov. Oh, my second stun didn't work there. All my comments about how OP the boomerang are falling apart now. All right, so yeah, you get the bear. Also, there's this toad. So I usually kill the toad from range. This place is particularly hazardous because you've got bear, you got the toad, and then this guy, this finger, also tries to kill you. It's pointing the right way, so it's going to try and kill you. And this keg is dangerous too. So the bear can knock you into the keg. This toad is really important to kill because he can suck you into the rapids and stuff. And then again, this hand is leading the right way, so it's going to try and kill you. It will trigger about near this rock. So what I usually do Just jump to the rock and then back, and it didn't work. Damn it. Okay. Oh, I forgot the crocodile. No. Oh, okay. There you go. Again, is this salt or fresh water? Who knows? I guess fresh water, right? We are in like mountainous, mineral, springy places. How rare are saltwater waterfalls compared to freshwater waterfalls? All right, hello. Okay, I'm back. So we're going to move along. I started wondering about water. We'll climb over here. And this is largely just like normal mode now. Once you've dealt with those fingers and all the hazards to get here, there's no real spikes. This is pretty annoying. Oh, usually when he does his vacuum ability and you get caught in it, you get stunned even though he never properly pulled you in. Yeah, there's no real spikes. Nothing really that bad. Not even any angry rocks at that little bit. You just go there. This bit does have angry rocks. I think the first one is going to be up this like next ridge. I love this area so much. I still feel sad that they don't have the plumes moving up and down like they did on the original release. That was just so badass. But yeah, it's still really decent. I really want to know the inner workings of the engine as to why they had to remove that. Right, okay, so this is the only tricky bit of this whole checkpoint. Seriously. This guy is an angry rock, okay? The lower one down. The one higher is not an angry rock. So the best way to beat this is to jump, wedge yourself in this little corner here, okay, and dodge into it. But if you don't wedge into the corner properly, your dodge will throw you off the other side and you can get stun locked permanently on the far side. So I'm going to try it here. You really want a nice sheer angle. You get the evade and then you move before his next jump, okay? That's the way to do that. I made that look as easy as pie, but I often get... easy as pie? Who says easy as pie in the UK? I often struggle there, so yeah, do be aware. All right, and then after that, look, the hands don't even try and kill you. Nice and safe. No spikes. Really forgiving, right? All right, the last third, the last section, or what I consider to be the last section. Now, we know that there's like all the stuff going up there. Is it possible that the devs want us to go up there now? Well, no. Between these rocks, there is no like way to the end of the level, and that all takes you back there. So the devs couldn't utilize that. But we also obviously have the Frogger section. One thing I always thought they might do with the Frogger section is have the water be insta-kill water, just like the poison water is, and how they handled that in World 1, Zone 3. But they didn't do that. I still feel like you can get past these spikes somehow. But honestly, I've never really tried that hard. The point is, they don't want you going that way at all. So we still have multiple options if you remember from the normal mode playthrough. We have a maze down here. And indeed, you can go into the maze. I don't think there's any reason. You just wander around. Or you have the super sneaky, super hidden hillbilly undercroft. Sounds kind of weird, doesn't it? Over here. Now, that little maneuver of dropping down, as I explained in the normal mode playthrough, is actually a pain in the ass. I'm pretty used to it now. Just sort of do a U-turn in midair, I guess. Or it's sometimes easier to like stand here where my cursor is and then drop like at a diagonal angle. You want to do it quickly, otherwise the hillbillies start attacking you, or you can go through the whole thing of killing them first, but when you're trying to get through this quickly, there's just no point. And yeah, you'll notice that there is a balloon. First time I ever did this, my tip-off that this was the correct way was noticing that there was this balloon here, I think, if I remember rightly. It was a few years back. Okay, so yeah, now we come under here. There isn't actually any new hazards here, no angry rocks. I think the devs decided that getting here and knowing about this was challenge enough. And you'll notice that they do loosen their grip a bit in World 2. So we get this checkpoint, and you're going to be tempted now to just come up these and keep going. But this will all lead you astray. You can't utilize the height you get from this to jump over those spikes. Can you? You can't make that jump dodge, can you? Yeah, you can't do this, and I don't think you can jump around that corner. It'd be amazing if you could. You can! Oh my god, I've never done this. I have to try this. Whoa! What? Oh, no, there's more spikes. They knew that people would do that. All right, look. Here's the easier way, though. Wow. Okay, the better way is to come into this cave. Which, as I already mentioned in the normal mode playthrough, once you know the way through, it's much easier. Also, I hope the video is a lot brighter. In the normal mode playthrough, this place was like pitch black dark, and we were genuinely relying on our torch. I've got it hopefully a little bit more accurate to how I play the game and how most people play the game at this point. As long as you remember the route through this, and you just keep spamming past the hillbillies, you can come out to the doorway there. I don't even know the way through that in terms of left, right, blah, 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 which I wish I could say to you in commentary. I just have the muscle memory of moving around. So yeah, you got the bear, and you might think, oh, they're going to put some spikes here, aren't they? It's going to be over. There's no spikes. You just move along. The water even catches you in the right place. And we're through. Could have been quick. If you're really good at that jump and maybe you can avoid those spikes and go along, might be quicker to go that other way. But hey. Oh, yeah. A Tribulation Cloud. So, let's talk about this sequence. It's very dangerous. Can we hide in the shop, I wonder? Let's see. Does the Tribulation Cloud follow us into the shop? Does it know how to do that? In theory, you might think that's crazy and outside of the limits of the game engine. It's actually not. These doorways are basically working like Asura gates. Seriously. And if you go to Ratasum, none other than Ratasum, and you stand near an Asura gate as a ranger with your pet, you'll see your pet actually goes through the gate to another area of the map and then snaps back to you and then can walk through the gate without you and then snap back. It will teleport without you. Most Asura gates, because they transition you through different zones altogether, won't work that way and your pet won't be able to go through. But because Ratasum is a map where there's multiple Asura gates within the same zone, you can see that. And that's what's happening here with Super Adventure Box 2. NPCs can go through teleporters. It happens in Ratasum. And that Tribulation Cloud chasing us in here, I think would be amazing. I guess it is actually a safe haven for us, so that's nice. Obviously, your main temptation is going to be to walk straight to the checkpoint. Don't do that. There's spikes there. Instead, come to this side of the house. You can maybe go around the other side of the house. Do a couple of easy little jumps. And go the back way. The cloud really struggles to follow you with this as well. So it's not as dangerous as it all seems. And you hit the checkpoint and you're through. I'll demonstrate those spikes now. They're right there, as you can see. Lastly, one of the hands on the wall does try to kill you here, but he's never actually successfully hit me. So I don't really know what's going on with all of that. Maybe there's like a whole other method of walking that I've just never even considered that would catch you out, but I couldn't tell you any further. You really don't get to hear much of the metal music on this one because that's the only Tribulation Cloud on this zone, and you're done with him extremely quickly. So, the devs get extra trolly again for this checkpoint. This is actually one of the hardest sections in World 2, I think. First, you have these spikes here. And, well, things get kind of weird now. In that there really is no way around this. Hold on. So, I'll show you. There is a balloon here, which you can grab, right? There is no way around. There's no high route or anything. What you have to do is jump to the edge. Now, and there's the hand there, I forgot, and we could have avoided that. Now, jumping to the edge is something we've done before, but it's never been required. It's always felt like whenever we've jumped to... Oh, God, really? All right, well, there's some extra spikes here. I don't even know why these are here. It's never been something required, as far as I know. It's always been something like, there's an extra skip or something. But here, the devs are acknowledging they know this is like a thing. They know that this is a technique. And they're actually saying, from here on out in World 2, you're going to be doing this. And so I find it kind of weird. I was never really sure if that's what was actually being signaled on my first playthroughs through. Like, I was never sure if every time I did something like this, it was just too cheesy and the devs hadn't thought about it. But it turns out they have, and they'll start embracing this stuff. There's even more spikes here, which we want to avoid. So we're going to jump down. And again, this whole row here is all spikes, and you kind of got to, like, cling to the edges. And you got to make that basic jump there too, which I totally failed. Maybe we can just simply climb up from here? No, I guess not. All right, we have to die. Damn it. I think back in normal mode, there would have been a teleporter there. But no such luxury this time. And that's the main thing I'm about to come to. So let's try this here, here, here. No, what the hell? I jumped and it didn't work. That was weird. That was very janky. I'm not sure what's going on with that one. All right, let's try again. Right, there you go. It's really not a tricky jump. Okay. So, you actually have a choice now, okay? What they want you to do. First, we could hit this, you know, as an insurance policy. What you should probably do is hit this before trying that jump. It's not a teleport there in normal mode, is it? It's just that. Right, so what they want you to do, okay, is now that there's no teleporter where this hand is pointing down, uselessly so, they want you to climb all the way up here. I really don't remember. When we came here last time, did I show this off? It's a huge walk. And do you remember that balloon that I could have got before all of this earlier? Well, yeah, you're going to want to take it to the very top. Here, I'll super speed it because it's a hell of a climb. And voila, you get the cloud. If you didn't see the balloon, but you probably would have, yeah, this is going to feel pretty painful, right? But so that's what they want you to do. Then you're going to get on the logs and you're going to go ahead. But on top of this pit post, I think there's spikes anyway, maybe? And in truth, there's a whole different way of doing this that's much more forgiving. And I'll show you it now, okay? From the bottom, don't bother with a balloon. Don't bother climbing that whole goddamn mess there. Instead, you got two choices. One, you can wait for a log to fall down. And right now, I could jump on that log. Or two, you can jump dodge and skip it altogether, right? You can just land here because you can wait for the log. Usually when you're running through this really quickly, the logs are still slowly falling. So you can save time with the jump dodge if you're comfortable with them. And the same here. You can jump dodge all the way over to that. And that's a hell of a jump, by the way. Or you can wait here. I mean, look at that distance we cleared. This almost looks like an impossible distance. But with a jump dodge, you can do it. You'll notice the Tribulation mode has still not required us to jump dodge. More on that very soon. But yeah, you can do that here. And now, once you're down here, I know I've been standing around waiting a lot because we're talking. This much faster falling log you can use to get into this cave down here, remember? Now, it does have spikes. So about there, you have to climb in kind of blindly. You have to jump at where it feels best to go for it. And you'll be down here with about 1 billion bears. So, we're going to kill them. This is where the 9 potions can come in handy. Because, I mean, look at all the fire here. The potions are not really as good for the healing as they are for the stun break. You get hit, you can stun break the blowout, and then resume your offensive, okay? But here, so the reason I'm killing all of these bears is to show you guys. Down here, this bottom platform on the floor, all this down here, that's spikes, okay? So, the devs might have set this up that they don't actually want you to come into this cave. I'm not sure, okay? As often, I become increasingly less sure in Mod 2. But if you jump off the log as it's falling, like, the log will fall all the way down here, right? And as soon as the log's at any point below the head, you can jump and land on this lower bit here. This is what I did, okay? And you'll actually be safe. You just can't hit the floor. It's the floor that are the spikes, okay? Then you can climb up it. Now, I killed all of these bears just to show you everything that's going on here because you kind of can't see as you fall down. You jump off the log as it's falling, not when it gets to the very bottom. But normally you can ignore the bears. You just, as long as you're quick, you come in, you just jump up. The bears are about to throw the Molotovs here, and you climb up here. They miss their Molotovs. Then you can just bounce on this, and you're away. You don't even have to fight them. So that whole section, remember, we haven't had a checkpoint. We never got the balloon. We still don't have a checkpoint. But we're only talking a couple of jumps, all right? That can be tricky jump dodges, or you just wait for the log. And honestly, we are only moments away from where we started a second ago. And we've skipped the entire process of climbing that whole mountain and doing all of it. What I just showed you is not reliant on the RNG of the logs falling or any of that stuff. There's a bit of RNG, I guess, with the bears attacking you. But you come out at the top of the cave, and you're done. That's my favorite way to do that sequence. And now, we're at the end of the level. I guess this one did take a bit longer to talk about than the previous one. We're almost 40 minutes in here. But there you have it. A fun little technique for this cage, by the way. Not that they've added a ton of spikes. Maybe I showed this in normal mode. Is to come into this little cubby hole here. And you can just auto-attack your way to death. I wonder if I can use the elite. I can as well. And he'll never hit you while you're standing in this position. Thankfully, unlike in Zone 2 of World 1, where they put spikes on the tree trunk around the ring of the cage, they don't do that anymore. On this zone, oh, I'm lying. They do that more. Never mind. But, yeah, you can usually kill the cages quite easily by finding a spot like this. Several of the zones have them. And with that, we get 1 billion more baubles, and we can progress on deeper into Super Adventure Box, the penultimate level. Once again, we're already there. Only a couple of videos in. Pretty nice. What I'm going to do now as well is you notice how many baubles I've got. I've hit over the 750 level. What that means is I can probably go back to the hub and trade these in for bauble bubbles before completing the next 2 zones. The next 2 zones are brutal. They are several leagues harder than the others. This one is actually really easy. Genuinely, I know it's going to sound weird, but if you do the skips that I've shown, you can bypassing that mountain at the end and the whole sequence at the start of this zone just by jumping around. You can beat this in like 10 minutes solid, easily. The Pain Cliffs, though, even with some nice skips, oof, it's painful. Until now, the box has not required us to jump dodge. And I'm pretty sure at this point, it will start doing that. And right at the beginning. More on that next time. Here you'll see, we did get a new type of token. Where is he? Here, no, those are my continue coins. Where's my new type of token? Here. Storm Wizard Z1. Combine the Storm Wizard Z1, Z2, and Z3 with a design for another type of weapon. These tokens I genuinely, sincerely want. They will be my 16th and final thing to ding the whole collection and complete Tribulation mode. I'll have it in 2 zones. So, I'll see you guys for the first of them next time. Let's do it.